Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today on Tundra Tactical, we got something extra special for you. We're going to be taking a look at the Airborne arms Hejra chambered in 224 Valkyrie. The goal of the video will be to test out and see if the 90 grain Sierra Match Kings perform as well as they were advertised by Federal, and we also have some 75 grain American Eagle Total Metal jackets to test as well. So stay tuned, thanks for watching, and let's start the show. So I'm sure by now you guys have all heard of the hype surrounding the 224 Valkyrie, but if you have been living under a rock for the past 6 months, you're probably asking yourself, what the hell is a 224 Valkyrie and why should I care? Just think about it for a second. What's the greatest rifle ever made? It's the ar-15, right? Correct. And what is the most popular round on the market today? That's the 6.5 Creedmoor, obviously. Now just imagine if you could shrink that 6.5 Creedmoor down into an itty-bitty little version of itself that you could use in your ar-15. That's essentially what the 224 Valkyrie round is in a nutshell. It's a small round designed for use in AR-15 pattern rifles with an accurate and supersonic range of about 1,300 yards. And that is pretty darn cool when you consider your average range for a 223 or 5.56 is somewhere around the 500 to 600 yard mark. Taking a look at the cartridge itself, you can definitely see a strong resemblance to the 6.5 Creedmoor, with its long slender bullet and stout high-capacity case. We managed to scrape together just a few American Eagle 75 grain total metal jackets, as well as a few 90 grain Sierra Match Kings, both produced by Federal. We hear that Federal will also be offering a 60 grain ballistic tip, a 90 grain fusion round, and possibly even a 100 grain round in the future. Personally, I suspect the 224 Valkyrie will make an excellent long-range target round, as well as being pretty darn good for small to medium game hunting. Now, what good would the 224 Valkyrie be without a gun to shoot it in? And that is what has me excited for this trip. We have not one but two Hejra rifles courtesy of our friends over at Airborne Arms in Blaine, Minnesota. So if you haven't clicked away just yet, let's reward your blind loyalty to Tundra Tactical by showing off some of the highlights of our time on the range with the Airborne Arms Hejra. Here at our top secret long-range testing facility, it's a balmy 7 degrees below zero with a 17-mile-an-hour wind. I hope you guys like technical data because we recorded everything we could think of for science. After making Mike sight in our rifles for us, we took some preliminary muzzle velocities and plugged them into our ballistics chart. This chart, by the way, is particularly handy because not only does it calculate the trajectory, but also it accounts for temperature and indicates the range at which a projectile will become transonic based on multiple factors. If you want to know more about this ballistic table, check out Taborosaurus Rex here on YouTube. He designed the table and discusses it at length in his Sniper 101 series. We'll provide a link in the description where you can find it. Anyways, what we're looking at here is the round that sets the standard for the 224 Valkyrie, the 90 grain Sierra Match King Gold Medal Match, which is advertised to achieve a muzzle velocity of 2,700 feet per second, reaching 1,300 plus yards before falling into the transonic zone. Those stats do come from bolt-action rifles with a 24-inch barrel, but for our testing purposes we did use AR-15s. We feel this will be more representative of a 224 Valkyrie setup, with 20-inch barrels and a 1 in 7 rate of twist with a direct impingement gas system. We recorded an average muzzle velocity of 2,607 feet per second with a calculated energy of 1,358 foot-pounds from a total of 40 shots with the lab radar Doppler chronograph. At that rate, we would reach 1,100 yards before the accuracy begins to suffer. Calculate that for room temperature conditions, and we'd expect to gain another 30 feet per second or so, bringing that up to about 1,250 yards. Not a bad performance by the 90-grain Sierra Match Kings. We were really excited to test the Valkyrie at 1,200 yards today, but I am disappointed to admit that the 1,200-yard gong was completely buried by snow and we were unable to find it. Perhaps a second Valkyrie video in the springtime may be in order to really stretch out its legs. Luckily, we do have an 830-yard selection of targets, and with the 90-grain Match Kings, hitting them was absolutely no problem at all. Bullet drop at that range is 235 inches, which is 27 MOA or 7.9 mils of adjustment. Wind drift, although not insignificant, seemed pretty manageable as well. Velocity at 830 yards was around 1,387 feet per second, still carrying 390 foot-pounds of energy. The 90-grain Sierra Match Kings didn't shoot quite as flat as the more powerful 6.5 Creedmoor, but it is surprisingly close, and with a fraction of the recoil, a long day of shooting with the Valkyrie won't end with a sore shoulder. Another perk of having low recoil is spotting your own hits, so keep that in mind if you frequently shoot alone. In the next video, Tundra Tactical will teach you how to socialize and make more friends. Next up, we have the 75-grain American Eagle Total Metal Jackets, and to be honest, we weren't particularly impressed with the performance in our rifles after testing the Match Kings. Although we weren't going for extreme accuracy when we zeroed for the lighter rounds at 50 yards, the grouping seemed to be noticeably bigger with some flyers as well. The velocities varied from shot to shot much more than the 90-grain Match Kings, with an extreme spread of 80 feet per second. That's a lot, and that could mean missing the target by several feet at long range, which it did several times. Finding issues with the 75-grain bullets was contrary to the hushed rumors of the Dark Depths of SHOT Show warning of problems with the 90-grain Match Kings in 1 in 7 twist barrels. However, that wasn't the case for us, and as to why the 75s were performing poorly is anyone's guess. I'm hoping it's just an issue with one lot of ammo and Federal will have it ironed out soon. If we take a look at the ballistics, we can see that 800 yards is already pushing the envelope in frigid winter weather. If it were warmer, we should have no issues reaching out to 1,000 yards at supersonic speeds. As for our 830-yard shots, the rounds dropped a total of 231 inches, equivalent to 26.6 MOA or 7.5 mils. Compare that to the 90-grain SMKs, and it's 4 inches flatter, but already traveling 200 feet per second slower, with just over half the energy. That's 1,179 feet per second with 231 foot-pounds of energy. We had no problem at all ringing steel at 490 yards with the 75-grain TMJs, which for a lot of people is more than enough from a practical standpoint, and is still ballistically superior to the 223 by a wide margin. When compared to the 90-grain Match Kings, however, the primary reason for choosing the 75-grain TMJ is cost, coming in at 50 cents a round, which is only half the cost of the 90-grainers at the time of shooting this video. Hopefully, as time goes on, prices across all the weights of the bullets will drop further. And with cost as an issue for a lot of shooters, suddenly the 75s don't seem so bad. Target shooting at around 500 yards with a soft shooting rifle and without breaking the bank is a great way to spend an afternoon. Overall, we're very impressed with the 224 Valkyrie's capability, and we feel that it hits the gap in the AR-15 market particularly well. It was previously believed that you'd need to move up to an AR-10 platform to enjoy effective ranges over 1,000 yards, or delve into pricey and hard-to-find Wildcat cartridges, but no longer. With just a new barrel, bolt, and a 6.8 SPC mag, you can convert your AR-15 into a long-range precision rifle while still costing much less than a conventional long-range semi-auto platform. I think the Valkyrie shows a lot of promise and is here to stay. It's clear that very long, efficient, and low-drag bullets are the trend for the future, and I'm glad the AR-15 now has an accessible option for the long-range market. I'm very interested to see how it fares in competition and in the field harvesting game. Well, that's about all for today, and unfortunately we have to return these two beauties, but another big shout-out goes to Airborne Arms for making this range day possible. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions. We read them all and we'll answer the best we can. If you dislike this video, then you know what to do, but if you liked the video, make sure to smash that thumbs up button and share it around with your friends. Consider subscribing to the channel to stay up to date on current and future content, and if you haven't done it already, head over to teepublic.com, that's teepublic.com, to check out our new Tundra Tactical t-shirt selection. Thanks for watching, and as always, visit www.tundratactical.com for more entertainment.